Do you like anime? Well, of course you do. After all, anime is awesome. But have you ever wanted to create an anime series of your own? Lucky for you, it's actually quite easy. All you need is a couple of million of dollars to start a production company and to pay a lot of talented artists to make your vision come true. That's at least how you would traditionally go about it. But what if you don't have millions of dollars or even friends from the industry that will help you out? Is it possible to create an anime all by yourself? Hi! Welcome to Pulp Anime. I'm your host Blue, and I am here today to answer this question: whether it is possible to create an anime series all by yourself. Well, the short answer is yes. And I know it for sure because I'm actually making an anime web series right at this moment. So if you haven't checked the first episode of my show Carmilla, then feel free to pause this video, click the link in the description, and go ahead and watch it. I'm going to show some clips from this episode and I'd hate to spoil it for you. So now, let's get back to the topic of this video. I think most of you would be surprised to find out that if you want to make an anime series of your own, you probably already have most of the tools that you'll need in order to do it. And if not, you can actually get most of them for relatively cheap if not for free. Take me for example. I am currently producing Carmilla all by myself, using only my old laptop. And the good news is that you can do it as well. I really think that we are living in a very exciting time. Today, creating whatever you can dream of is more accessible and affordable than ever. The recent advancements in AI and VR technologies have really opened up a lot of possibilities for filmmakers to animate virtual characters easily and for cheap. There is actually nothing stopping you right now from downloading Vroid Studio and start creating virtual characters and bringing them to life using one out of the many free VTuber softwares that you can find online. But unfortunately, just because you have access to the right technology, it doesn't mean that you can just go ahead and make an entire anime series alone. Although it is technically possible, it is still not a simple task. If you want to make an anime by yourself, I think it will go without saying that you will need to work on it very hard. But most importantly, you will also have to work smart. It was actually about 2 years ago when I first made the decision that I will make my own anime. And I knew that I will have to invest most of my time doing research and experimenting in order to find the best methods that will allow me to get the best results while being the most time efficient. At least as far as I knew, making an anime alone was something that has never been done before. And it took me a long time to find the best method that will help me to make my dream come true. But of course, lucky for you, if you want to make an anime by yourself today, you will not have to go through the long process of research and experimentation that I myself had to go through. Simply because I intend to share everything that I have learned about making an anime right here on this channel. So if you want to learn how to make an anime by yourself, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and remember to ring the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. And now, since you have stayed for this long through my video, I would like to start with the first lesson about making your own anime. You should think about it as the 3 core principles that you should definitely follow if you want to make an anime series by yourself. And the first thing that I would like to talk about is that you will have to do it as fast as you can. Time might be the most valuable resource that you will have to invest in order to make your anime. Either way, making an anime will take you a long time. This is also the case even for actual production companies, and since you are doing everything by yourself, in theory at least, things should take you double the time. In other words, you really don't have time to spare. Your time is precious, and if you choose to spend it on making an anime, instead of doing things that will actually make you money, you'd better make the best use of it as you can. And speaking of money, this leads me to my next point. And this is that you got to make it as cheap as you can. Since you are already going to spend a lot of time working on your anime, the last thing that you want now is to also lose money over it as well. And to all of you who are watching this video and for some reason still didn't watch the first episode of Carmilla, this is your last chance to go ahead and watch it. Because now is actually the time for me to show you some clips from the episode so we can learn from it. If you've watched the first episode of Carmilla, you can actually see from the first frame of the show that the screen is full of stuff that I couldn't possibly have made by myself. Both the skybox, the castle, the props in the background, and even the ones that the characters are holding are all digital assets that other people have made previously. And before you can even start working on your show, it is important to find the right assets that will help you to produce it. After all, you can't really tell a story, let's say about a spaceship captain, if you don't have a spaceship for him to operate. You will simply have to go online and look for the right spaceship for your story. It was also exactly the same thing with Carmilla. I couldn't even think of producing a show like this if I didn't know in advance that I will have the access for all of the right digital assets that I will need in order to tell this story specifically. And the reason that I'm telling you all of this in this segment of the video about making your show for cheap is because this is where you are at the greatest risk of failing. This is the part where I have actually struggled to stick to my guiding principles the most. After all, you want your show to look good. And naturally, good assets usually cost a lot of money. But fortunately enough, you can almost always find a cheaper alternative for anything that you want to do. And personally, I really want anyone who watches my channel to be able to follow along, and to do it without spending enormous amounts of money along the way. And this is why I will always try to stick to the use of affordable or free softwares in my future videos. And if I happen to use a more expensive service, you can count on me to always give you another cheaper or even free alternative. But now I would like to talk about the third and most important guiding principle. And following this one will actually help you to stick closer to the first two. And this one is that you got to keep everything simple. If you'll look closely at Carmilla, you can see that I kept everything pretty simple throughout the episode. The camera is only doing a few simple motions of zooming, tilting, and panning. And the characters are only moving between few key poses. In fact, a lot of the times they are not moving at all. By trying to keep everything simple, you will not only save a lot of time, but it will actually help everything to look a bit more like anime. One of the best things about anime is that this is a medium that endorses simplicity. Back in the days when animation was actually made on physical cells, Japanese studios used to cut a lot of corners to save their budget. This is why a lot of the shots in classic anime shows look pretty static. But throughout the years, it has slowly developed to be the cinematic language of this medium. So yeah, these are my 3 guiding principles for making an anime on your own. And if you'll follow them, making an anime will not only be possible for you, but hopefully a bit more easy. And if you've watched till the end of the video, I really appreciate it. This is actually my first time properly making a YouTube video, and this is all very exciting for me. So if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the second episode of Carmilla. See you later!